Overtime. Oh, happy Labor Day. Oh, man. Is this working right? Overtime. Oh, happy Labor Day. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay. It is wee hours of the morning on Friday, September 2nd, 2022. And it is definitely an overtime stream for me. Those infamous streams that I do at like 4 in the morning or something like that. And I look like an idiot because, well, we'll just say it's like a good morning stream for people in the EU. Good morning, all you EU people. Why don't you tell me in advance if this day is going to be, and well, no, I know the weather's going to be nice. So we actually we have Chamber of Commerce weather. I didn't even set the camera up. I was like, stream. I didn't even set the camera up. Let's just get our focus right here and also warm the heck up out of the color temperature on this so I don't get smurfed like this too much. So this is the United States of America that I am broadcasting from, and it is Labor Day this coming Monday. Labor Day is a fun holiday because it's one of those things that comedians can make lots of bad jokes about. Yeah, we're celebrating working by not working. Yeah, Labor Day. And also the unofficial end of summer. Kind of like how Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer. Labor Day is kind of like, you know, the kids will be back in school or close to it. And we might even have had some leaves start to fall, reminding you that, yes, autumn is coming. And, we are closer to shoveling snow than the next time we're going to be able to go to the, well, I don't want to say go to the beach, but somebody once asked me, hey, Jay, what's your favorite season? And I always say spring because it's not too hot, not too cold. But at least you know when it's springtime that what's ahead of you is not months of winter nonsense and shoveling snow and dealing with ice on the roads and crap along those lines. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Labor Day is coming up, and it is definitely interesting. So here's the thing. The 9-to-5ers always have a wild run up to Labor Day because this is right. This is either the halftime show or the 2-minute warning or something like that for the summer volume season and all the wild stuff that happens with this sort of thing. So Labor Day is always interesting. It's been one of those things that has been one of the regular things that's been going on with Labor Day for years is we never get to have it off. It's one of those, well, we're getting ahead of things here. So let's talk about what exactly is going on. So here's the situation. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on while we've had overtime every night this week. Except for tonight, but even still, no. We've had a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things that have been piling up, so to speak. So I am going to have a big chat stream with multiple segments. The clickable program guide for you after the fact, people, is going to be probably very, very useful whenever you see it pop up. So it's going to be very, very useful. It's going to resemble, if you ever listen to Zach Bussey's show or whatever, where he goes over multiple topics and stuff like that, or any of these people that do a comprehensive talk show on chat streams, that is going to be it's going to be very, very handy with that. But I'll tell you right now, after running around all week, we are not doing that tonight. Tonight we're going to do the first part of it, which is originally going to be the beginning of the stream, but then we can get straight into the meat of the topics when we come back after getting a little bit of sleep and have a little bit more energy than right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about this whole Labor Day fiasco and everything and the whole mess of a work week. We're going to just rant a bit and vent a bit and all that fun stuff. And then we're going to take a look at some gaming retro setups. We're going to put some lounge into this late night nerd lounge thing. Fire up the synthwave from Stream Beats. I got to check and see if there's new Stream Beats synthwave available as well. I also want a united synthwave playlist between the synthwave that's available on Stream Beats and the synthwave that's available on the YouTube audio library. I want to get all of that together and just have like a street, like kind of like, you know, I know lounge usually like jazz and chill stuff and things like that, but this is nerd lounge. It should be electronic in some way, shape, or form. But either way, And shout outs to the after the fact people as well. Although some of you folks in the EU, that might see this, well, who knows? Anyways, so let's talk about what's going on here, and then we'll take a look at some retro setups, because Sega Master Tim over on Twitter has probably the most retro setups out of anybody. Maybe I should just go to Reddit or something and start looking at Reddits and stuff. But in terms of reaction content, reacting to stuff, it's I really think that pictures on Twitter and stuff, it's probably better than videos and things like that. But what Sega Master Tim does, he used to work on the Sega, and he's an Australian guy. Apparently he used to work on the Sega version of the Nintendo hotline, you used to be able to call for help with Nintendo games, except it was a Sega version of it and stuff like that. But he routinely does like contests on gaming room setups. And what that means is his Twitter has a whole bunch of pictures of people's gaming setups. So I figured let's take a look at that with some drinks handy. Definitely been running around all week. Very thirstier than usual because I'm all warmed up from all the running around. All right, let's talk about Labor Day, that lovely little holiday. So the joke is that Labor Day is when people celebrate working by not working. And so the 9-to-5ers always have a kerfuffle on their hands when it comes to Labor Day, because Labor Day usually can't be that with what's going on. A little background, there's two kinds of holidays in this company. There's day off holidays and there's time and a half holidays. And the names pretty much say what they are. So if you've ever worked somewhere that has like full-time benefits, stuff like that, hopefully a lot of you have, you should be familiar with holiday pay, the little carrot on a stick to keep people from calling off en masse on like the day before Christmas or something. So yeah, you want to make sure people are there right up until the business closes for a holiday, and then they come back when you're opening back up after the holiday. So hence holiday pay. So day off holidays are exactly what they sound like. The business shuts down, you get a day off. If you work your hours the day before and the day after the holiday, you get a bonus, aka holiday pay. Day's pay for not doing anything. That's fun enough as it is. But then there are the time and a half holidays. The time and a half holidays are exactly what they sound like. You're paid time and a half when you're there. Now, I noticed last year that there was a big jump around Labor Day in my take home that week. I go looking and I see a whole bunch of line items. Apparently the way these people work is that if you have to come in on a holiday, it is the holiday pay plus time and a half for any hours worked. It's the holiday overtime combination. It's fun stuff. It gives you a whole bunch of money if you end up working a holiday. It's practically an incentive to work more holidays, except we don't need to work holidays most of the time. So, as a matter of fact, around some of the more traditional holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, we may even just shut the building down for extra days, so you get a little mini vacation if you don't mind the pay cut and stuff when things are quiet enough. Depends on what building you work in and what the business is like around that time of year. But the thing with the time and a half holidays is obviously they're more expensive. You have holiday pay, assuming people don't blow it by calling out the day before or after the holiday. You have holiday pay, and you also have holiday overtime. Now, here's the way that the holiday overtime works. The company standardized holidays as being from midnight to midnight. So until the clock strikes midnight on a holiday, if you're in there between midnight and midnight, it's holiday overtime on a time and a half holiday. So for night shift, we got several hours of holiday overtime, but we all know, of course, managers trying to keep costs under control. This is a carrot on a stick for the management to move orders around and make sure that we're in the building for as little time as possible on a time and a half holiday. There's already holiday pay in play, and essentially the time and a half is like a penalty for us coming in for the holiday at all. So for time and a half holidays, we've had 4-hour nights and all kinds of other cool stuff. So pretty much it doesn't really break up your holiday when you just go to work for a couple hours and come home. So especially working nights, I mean, you may have the majority of whatever you're going to do for the day done, and then you just go in, work like half your normal hours because the management's trying to get you out of there and stuff like that as soon as possible and save the work for the normal days of the week. Either way, assuming they don't just send it off to bump it to the rest of the week, because there's no such thing as overtime in the state of Connecticut, because you can't hit 40 hours of hours worked, which is what overtime is based on here. So here's the here's the situation. Labor Day has traditionally been a time and a half holiday, but it was looking like we could actually take the day off this year, and everything was in place to take the day off until corporate intervened. They didn't want the order processing to stop for that long. So the managers got their asses handed to them by corporate. We all know the numbers involved in this. If you're talking about a day off holiday just being holiday pay, 8 hours, and a time and a half holiday being holiday pay 8 hours plus time and a half for every hour from midnight to midnight that you work, the time and a half holidays are more expensive. So, of course, in the name of let's try and have the day off, you would try to sell that to the workforce. Of course, that's going to be a thing they're going to push for. It costs less. You're not paying the penalty wages for people working holidays. You're just giving holiday pay. And if people call off the day before, the day after, or for some reason they don't work their hours the day before, the day after, you pay nothing. Of course you're going to try and get away from time and a half holidays towards day off holidays. Why wouldn't you do that as a manager? Like, Labor Day is already weird enough because it's the holiday where we celebrate working by not working. But then to see corporate pull the rug out from under these managers like this definitely spiced up the week. I'm sure there were people that were upset that now we were being required to come in and get time and a half on Monday, Labor Day, but when we thought we would have it off. But so here's how it all shook out. We were allowed to take Sunday off instead, which basically means that since the holiday goes off of the calendar midnight to midnight, we're back to a time and a half holiday on Monday. Oh man. So why am I laughing about this? In order to get Labor Day off, we'd have to get ahead on handling orders and everything to the point where we could take Monday off. So the original plan was probably to eat overtime to get in a good enough position to work, but shut everything down by midnight on Sunday night, and then just have a day off holiday for everybody and not pay any holiday overtime. Corporate said no. And I'm probably the only person in the entire building that knows enough formal business and management stuff to call this out for what it is. These folks, they try and pull stunts like this, and then they wonder why they keep attritioning talent and being stuck with teams of rookies who either don't have a work ethic, don't stick around, or they use this place as like a training facility to move on to other warehouses. It's like, there has to be some respect for, let's face it, if you're a manager running a business, the people, those rank and file workers who are doing what you yourself can't do on your own, which is why you hire help in the first place. Those rank and file workers are why you are able to make your goals. Anybody who's ever been a manager in a small retail environment, like a small store, where you have like one or two people tops on your team. So if any of them call out, you lose like half or all of your help. And now you got to be the one running the store by yourself, or else your store doesn't open. And your customers hate when they can't depend on you to actually be open for your open hours. Yeah. That's just it. And people wonder why is it that labor relations is such a big thing in business? Well, why did it be, and even politics as well? It's because people are the one situation where we want to downplay and deadpan the value they provide for others. Crazy. Businesses will go nuts about bringing in revenue, minimizing expenses, but respecting people, that goes out the door very, very quickly. Because for some reason, people like to believe the bigger a business gets, the more the rules change. When you're a proprietor and you're hiring an assistant because you can't do everything yourself, you're going to look for a good business partner. Or you get into a partnership. You're looking for a good business partner. But hired help, hourly wage employees and stuff like that at like supermarkets and stuff, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how companies eventually get to the point where they think they can churn all the talent in an area and then cry about how nobody wants to work when they've burned through everybody who's interested in them. I don't know. I think there's people like Liz Ryan that say that the human side of human resources needs to come back after it's been gone since the 80s or something. I think the human side of business needs to be also expressed, shall we say, in the relationship that people have with their hired help. Those people are people you're depending on to make your numbers and keep your business running. No matter how much you hate them or how much you think they're stupid, they're who you hired. They're who you have to work with. Unless you want to go to all the trouble of firing and turnover and constantly having to train people, you got to have some respect for the people that make the magic happen, so to speak. So, Labor Day, it's going to be interesting. We don't have to do anything on Sunday, and it's time and a half on Monday. Thank you, corporate, for intervening and putting these people in their place. It's for business-related reasons, though. They're not trying to be advocates for people making more money. It's the needs of the business. And the funny part is, though, because we went crazy this week with the overtime, in order to get into the position to have Labor Day be a time and a half holiday until corporate pulled the rug, this is probably going to be the most lucrative Labor Day week in years. I don't know if these folks are going to try and do this again next year, especially after what happened. They'll come up with some pretext or some other reason to never, ever, ever try to do this ever again. But for those of us who have been through it, management sometimes, always trying to be clever. It's been one of those ironic things. There are some holidays with this business that are always day off holidays. And there are other holidays with this business that are always time and a half holidays. Labor Day is usually one of the time and a half holidays. Can't believe these folks really thought that that they could get away with this. Well, anyways, it was also great, for getting in shape. I've lost 15 pounds from all the running around this summer. It was great for, getting in shape, getting a lot of cardio with the extra running around, sleeping really well, because I just came home and I was like, I'm not going to do anything with videos, not going to do anything with streaming. I'm just going to go to bed, like usually an hour or so before I normally did, and slept incredibly well from all the running around, plus running the AC because it's still summertime and all that other lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. So it's been interesting, but that's also the reason why this channel has been at a standstill. So I got that other thing done. I got the video done. I got the video done. I've also done some digging on the YouTube algorithms and how to spot when the algorithms are actually promoting your stuff. Some of YouTube's newest tools, like for example, the audience tab and YouTube analytics, the YouTube Studio Analytics, is pretty nice. We're going to save all that for the huge nerd discussion after I get some sleep, though. For now, though, let's just bask in this moment. I've been getting some chuckles at watching this little harebrained scheme of these managers all fall apart. Did they really I'm going to look in the payroll system too, just as a sanity check to make sure I didn't miss a detail after the stream. But I remember seeing last year, it's like, wow, this is an amazing paycheck. What is this? It was holiday overtime. Holiday pay, 8 hours plus the number of hours worked before midnight as holiday overtime. It was really nice. And that's what these managers were trying to avoid, as if nobody would notice this and get a good chuckle out of it when they weren't allowed to go forward with it. Have some respect, you knuckleheads. Have some respect. You got enough problems with all these Zoomers coming in that need to be babysat. You know, they goof off the first chance they get. We might be at the point where this place is enough of an underdog employer that people might be attracted because they think it'll be an easy job, an easy industrial park job, stuff like that, as opposed to wandering around Walmart or whatever it is. It's like all the people problems that these 9-to-5ers have been having, and they want to pull something like this and think that nobody's going to figure it out. Just gives me... Look, let me just say, as we conclude all of this crap, let me say one very important thing about jobs treating workers like crap. Even if businesses, even if you treat your workers like crap, you can't get away from the invisible hand of the market. You can't get away from Adam Smith's invisible hand here. You just can't. Supply and demand, market forces as usual. It's the way things work in business, even when you think you've beaten the system. Here's the thing. If I'm going to work a crap-ass job in an industrial park to keep a roof over my head because there aren't any tech opportunities around here or something, if I'm going to do that stuff, although I am pursuing a very good tech opportunity right now, matter of fact, I gotta go shopping this weekend for some new interview clothes for that. And we'll pick that story up later if there's any more progress on it. But if I'm going to work a crap-ass warehouse job because there's nothing out here in these woods, and I have to choose between being treated like crap and being treated like crap but getting paid more, have more opportunities for advancement in a company where there's more going on. And by paid more, I don't just mean running myself into the ground with tons of overtime. I also mean higher wages. Higher wages, especially to start, more hours, none of this drugging up the building on VTO and creating this culture of hurry up in VTO that is way too prevalent with these folks. Shoot, I've been there long enough. I remember the days when people were furious when they were put on short hours because things were quiet with the business. They always wanted their 40. They were full-time workers. That's what they signed up for. That's what they were there for. It was a problem when they didn't get their hours. Now these people are so conditioned to hurry up in VTO, especially these young people. They are so conditioned to hurry up in VTO. And they just love running out the door and being done with work as soon as possible and living off of scraps as a result. I really think they should run the... Some of these people, you can tell they're not very bright. Otherwise, they would have run the numbers by now. Let's run some numbers just as a great example of this. Calculator, please. If you get hired in one of these places at $18 an hour, my asterisk is still broken, so I got to click this. If you get hired in one of these warehouses at $18 an hour to pick orders, not even drive any forklifts or anything. By the way, as the war for talent continues in this area, there are smaller warehouses that are hiring night shift shipping types and whatnot for $20 an hour. I just found that out over the past few weeks. If you get hired at $18 an hour, you work your hours, that's $7.20 before taxes. However, 18 an hour, you leave at 11 o'clock, you VTO at 11 o'clock every single night. That's just 2 hours of VTO. 2, 4, 6, 8, 40 minus 8 is 32. You VTO down to 32 hours a week, divide by, that's 576 gross. Divide by 40 to get what the full-time wage equivalent is. You're making $14.40 an hour. When Connecticut goes to a $15 an hour minimum wage next year, your VTO infused or whatever job will be essentially paying you less than minimum wage. Congratulations. VTO wipes out wage gains and defeats the purpose of running your ass into the ground in these industrial parks as opposed to working retail or something, where the most you'll have to do is restock shelves with a pump truck or operate a cash register. No, you're dealing with heavy equipment, conveyors, and forklifts for what? If this is what you're taking home because you're a VTO addict. That building and the people that are putting up with this crap, instead of just having higher standards and a smaller team, need a big boot in the ass. They need the swiftest kick in the ass that the business world can give them. But they think they can get away with this indefinitely. And then here's the thing I'm concerned about. This might be a little on the paranoid side, but hey, if I'm right, it'll be awesome. One of the interesting elements of this VTO culture with these people that they keep trying to get away with this as long as they have is that VTOing doesn't slow down your paid time off accruals. When the system was updated to be PTOs by hours, when the system was updated to roll out like this, one of the stipulations was that overtime would speed up your accruals. VTO would not slow you down. Also, it could be working these Obamacare full-time jobs at like 30 plus hours a week. That's not my definition of full-time, by the way. 40 is what I'm looking for. But you can work these Obamacare full-time jobs, 30 something hours, 30 low 30s or whatever hours per week, and you'll gain full-time benefits, which cost the company money, plus full-time PTO accruals. No. No, just a smaller take home, but you accrue time off, and when you get your day off and you take it, it's 8 hours. Nothing can stop you from that. Just don't take it on a week when there's overtime opportunities, but those are so few and far between. We spent the summer with VTO during supposedly the busiest time of the year. There is something in the numbers that doesn't add up there. There's going to be a crackdown. Question is when. When are the layoffs coming? When are the layoffs coming? When are the managers stepping down? When are the managers going to be forced to step down and be replaced by folks who are going to run a much, much tighter ship? My dad went through this at an easy job he had when he was about my age to make sure that I could catch the bus in the morning, because all the other bigger businesses would run him into the ground with early start times and long hours. But he paid the price for it when he got so used to easy jobs that he couldn't work anywhere but in half-dead dives the rest of his working life before he retired. So I guess the moral of the story for any of you listening who aren't involved in any of this 9-to-5 or rubbish with this specific place is this: don't let yourself get softened up by easy jobs. Always take something that's a decent challenge. I realize right now that there's this anti-work culture on Reddit, and you have this talk about quiet quitting and crap like that. I know that there's this thing among the unofficial labor movement that tries to get everybody to act like union workers, but there's this thing called quiet quitting and stuff, this anti-work Reddit and all this other stuff that's going around the blogosphere and Twitter and the whole nine yards, talking about quiet quitting and things like that. But look, you do not become better as a person unless you're challenged. You don't become better as a person unless you have something that you can rise to the occasion and step up to the plate for and get better. If you go through life having everything handed to you, you're going to get soft and spoiled. You need challenge in your life. You need something to be your drive to keep going and do more. That's how we better ourselves in life. Every so often, you're going to run into these movements that try and tell you otherwise. And what they always amount to is it's essentially they're coddling your emotions to get you to read a tweet, read a Reddit, subscribe to a blog, buy a magazine, whatever. So I have seen the cultural divide with these people as they've settled for Lazy people who always want a VTO, who cry when they have to be full-time workers like these last couple of weeks. Wah, I actually have to work. Wah. You tell them to do something and they sulk and seethe because you wouldn't let them stand around. Saw some of that tonight from a guy with some anger issues. Yeah. I've seen this culture. It's been developing, and I am at odds with it. I did not come to this place to have to put up with a bunch of whining pansies who are allergic to the idea of actually getting some work done. No. I deserve better than this, and I want better than this. And so help me God, I'm going to get better than this. That's why one of the things I'm doing with this celebrating working by not Labor Day weekend is shopping for some new interview clothes to go for white-collar tech jobs. Party's over. The party's over. I really don't plan on spending the next couple of years with the state of this business making history repeat itself. What happened to my dad at the easy job he had before the Great Recession, which was killed by the Great Recession, by the way. The whole business went under. And he wound up being treated like garbage at a place he quit before because nobody else would hire him. That's what happens when you let yourself get soft. Yeah. There's merit and there's value, folks, in being a decent worker. There's merit and there's value, and it toughens you up and makes you a better person when you can actually get stuff done without being a whiny little baby about it. It's like, the boss made me do this. It's not part of my job. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It's called work. What the hell did you get a job for if the idea of working repulses you so much? They don't call it work for nothing. Jazz intermission. And let's check out some gaming setups. But yeah, Labor Day. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's always interesting with these folks, and I think this year is probably the cherry on top of the interestingness Sunday. Kudos to corporate for screwing everything up for these folks. We get paid nicely because of it. Thank you. That's one way to respect your workforce. Find ways to pay them a little more around Labor Day. Lovely. Stay tuned. All right. That's enough jazz music for one morning. It's 4:51 at the Geek House. It's going to be, the sun shall be coming up soon. All the day shift people will start be making noise. And of course, it is Labor Day weekend, so there might be some extra noise and some motorcycles, and the weather is going to be absolutely beautiful. So why am I still doing this crap like a nerd? That's a pretty darn good point. Good night. Except we put in the title that we're actually going to be checking out more gaming setups after a long work week. So let's head on over to Sega Master Tim's Twitter. Let me see here. Set up for browser mode. Let's also get some sound going as well. Get some synthwave loaded up here. Sega Master Tim Redux and a picture of a cheeseburger. Perfect. Homemade cheeseburger. It's a homemade bacon cheeseburger. So perfect. Crap. I'm not losing any weight this week. All right, let's see here. Do we have the Winamp thingy on the screen? Yes, we do. Put that over on screen number 2. And let's get ready to flip scenes and stuff like that. So we can just do everything primarily through the old browser and put, yeah, over here. How do we do this again? Maybe I need a third monitor. Wouldn't be unheard of in this day and age and stuff along those lines. That's OBS. Give me my live stream thing and make them line up quite gorgeously. There we go. Now I get to be all mirror mode and wave at myself. Hi, me in the OBS thing. Whatever. Let me see what people are responding to on my tweets here. The algorithm is reacting. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. I got some YouTube product managers arguing with me about the algorithm. Hey, I'll take some notes, though. See what kind of stuff they talk about. So let's go back to the profile. Who is Sega Master Tim? Who is this guy? Used to work for the Sega hotline, who's now a living relic of the 90s video gaming era. Twitter.com/SegaMSTIM. Based out of Australia. Recently celebrated a birthday, too. Happy birthday, Sega Master Tim. Okay, so we started with this little picture of a cheeseburger. One more time. Yeah, apparently some homemade bacon cheeseburger thing. That looks like something from the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas. You know, okay, the title of the stream is checking out gaming setups. I'm over here looking at a picture of a bacon cheeseburger. No wonder I'm so fat. Seriously though, thumbs up for that one. That really is pretty appetizing looking. I guess the big thing too is that we get too used to the generic looking McDonald's burgers and stuff like that. And then I guess the big thing too is that we get too used to the generic looking McDonald's burgers and stuff like that. Is the microphone duplicating or doing me up in stereo? That sounds terrible. That sounds like mono. Can I change that out without crashing the audio in the stream? Properties. Let me go to advanced audio properties here. Let's see. Browser mode. Sound system audio. Yeti Nano audio. Monitor off. There's got to be a way to do that. Let's see. Copy filters. Properties. Under properties, it has microphone Yeti Nano. I don't know. I don't know why it should be doing it in mono, but it sounds like whatever, man. Properties. It has microphone Yeti Nano. I don't know. I don't know why it should be doing it in mono, but it sounds like I'm underwater too. Way too much processing. Let me check my Logitech G settings. Enjoy this cheeseburger while I make sure that this thing's not running any weird filters or anything. No, blue voice is turned off and the pickup pattern is now set to cardioid. I don't know what the story is here, but yeah, there's got to be a way to actually, you know what I should check under advanced audio properties. Yeah, there should not be any monitoring on this. Either way, we've been staring at a cheeseburger for 5 minutes now, or whatever it is. Why don't we actually get to, come on, OBS, stay the right size. There we go. All right, heck with it. Start the music back up. We're going to sound weird no matter what. Start the music up. We're going to sound weird no matter what here. All right, let's get some stuff on the screen. So one of the things that Tim does is he actually has a thing he has a thing where you can check out gaming setups and stuff like that and compare them all. Let's begin with what is this? So his most recent contest as of when I'm recording this is Kinzilla's Room before she left for Japan versus Green Gaming, not to be confused with Green Ham Gaming. So this is pretty cool looking. The thing is, though, I have a big issue with too many boxes. I mean, I don't need to look like a gamer to be a gamer. So give me a pointer here. I don't need to look like a gamer to be a gamer. So I don't need every single console box visible all the time. The big issue I have with these, I mean, yeah, it makes for great YouTube and social media pictures and backgrounds and YouTube videos and stuff like that. But UV light is what fades everything. It's what fades your cartridges, fades the side labels on your physical media, and eventually fades your console boxes on the sides that get like the light from the sun, the light from your lights, and things like that. Nice that she has a huge TV and stuff like that. PS4 hooked up, little glass cabinet there, some vinyl over there as well. Interesting. Some vinyl, but you know, that's one of the problems of physical media, though, is just the effects of light on your cases and everything. It's what causes things to get old and faded. What's the rival room? Ah, much smaller picture. This is out of the latest contest for Sega Master Tim's Twitter here. So we have another cube storage setup, and I'm looking at the light for cues that this might be open in the back. Oh, a Series X. Nice. This is obviously Xbox Palooza over here, although there are other consoles as well. Just revisiting my usual concerns about using cube storage for gaming setups. Ooh, a plastic taco as well. Nice. PS5, baby. So here's the problem that I have with these kinds of setups. Newer consoles have exhaust fans, so we don't want a situation where the consoles that are barfing air out the back are basically roasty toastying themselves. It looks like these might be open though. Look at the back. It's not uniform for the Xbox Series X. It'll be fine if all that air can exhaust out the back of the shelves, just kind of float up past the TV and everything. But the enclosed cube storage, I wonder about for consoles like PS2, PS3, PS4, anything with an exhaust fan, especially this Red Ring era Xbox 360 down here. So small shelf, if there's nowhere for the air to go. The problem with the 360s was that they overheated themselves and their engineering wasn't up to snuff for the kind of technology at the time, excuse me, that was being crammed into that small of a box. So I'm always worried about closed cube shelves, but a very important disclaimer when it comes to cube shelving in gaming setups. One of the big things and the big issues that I need to bring up is that my own setup from when I was little was also a shelf, but it was an open shelf in the back. It was kind of like this, but no backplate. So if I had consoles that were spitting air out the back because they had an exhaust fan, it would not have been an issue because it would have just spat the air out the back of the shelf. It wouldn't have created like a roasty toasty thing for anything, especially this Betamax player style Xbox One over here. It's right up against the sides. Hopefully it doesn't have any side vents. Let's load something else up from this guy's Twitter here. It takes a little bit of scrolling because he has contest posts, so he repeats the same pictures over and over again, like 5 hours left to vote, 3 hours left to here's a good one. Here's another contest from earlier, and this is kind of like Geek House Dark Mode, except it has a little bit too much pink in it. I have a plant light that contributes the non-blue parts of my setup. Let's see here. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Interesting. It looks like though those shelves have backs to them, so what kind of newer consoles? Oh, some open shelves for the consoles with fans. Nice idea for the setup. Ooh, the Wii U's on one as well. There's a lit one for those. Really nice judicious placement of consoles here, except for the GameCube. The GameCube I know has an exhaust fan, so that one might get a little roasty toasty, but N64, Super Nintendo, and NES, orange zapper and everything. This is a cool setup. Got the lights right, a little bit of Pokemon stuff there. So, and a choice, of course, between modern TV and PVM. I don't know about PVMs though. PVMs because of my audiovisual background, PVMs to me are always something that, this is a little loud. Let me set it to like 5. PVMs to me are always something that I associate with rack mount setups. I don't associate them with living rooms. And as much as they might have, much as PVMs might have the most accurate display of an image on a CRT, I think maybe a good consumer television would probably be more accurate. Especially, I mean, look, let's be blunt here. Let's be blunt. Why would you min-max your CRT experience if that's not what you had when you were a kid? If you had a 24-inch tube TV as a kid and you grew up in the 80s and 90s and whatnot, why would you min-max now and look at a little tiny PVM like that? Why not have something that corresponds with what you had before, which is basically what chasing after nostalgia is supposed to be. Now, I mean, it is possible. Nice Sonic plushie, by the way. It is possible to have a setup where you're like, oh, well, if I had the money, I would have had this. People do that on YouTube all the time with PCs and stuff. They're like, my ultimate my ultimate $6,000 Windows XP PC built in 2020 or something. So it's not unheard of. It's not unheard of for that sort of thing. But if you had a large consumer TV for the CRT side of things, I think maybe, it might be better for the nostalgia if you went with that specifically. What was this one up against in that contest earlier? Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And again, look at, bam, there you go. Big CRT right there. Maybe the furniture is a little too modern. Maybe I'd put a retro couch in there or something like that. Couple of arcade machines and an obvious light mode, dark mode contrast here. What I would do is I'd flip the lighting the other way. The whole dark mode color with all the colors and everything, that's more of a now thing. So I'd put that over by the LCDs over here, and I would have tungsten lighting over here in this retro corner. So not a bad setup. Not a bad setup though. It's kind of cool that you have a little couch you can sit on in front of the tube TV there. What's this? It's on like Donkey Kong. Oh, someone actually made a PC case that looks like the arcade version of Donkey Kong with a custom water loop. Where is this? It's got like a custom loop and everything in there. The problem, I don't really have the place to put a PC that doubles as like some kind of conversation piece though. Plus, I don't want the complications of a water loop or something like that. Is this even? This is a PC case, isn't it? Just been modded all the heck? That looks like a motherboard thingy right there. Yeah, that's what this is. The water cooling loop is supposed to make it look like a Donkey Kong level. What was the description of that thing? The amazing PC case from OSRetrogamer.com. Well, I've seen stuff like that before. From Os Retro Gamer. Well, there was a viral computer in the day and age before viral videos. We had viral pictures, right? There was a viral computer back in the 2000s. I got to find a picture of it, called the Caffeine Machine, where a guy took a full tower ATX case and he basically put a coffee machine in it. And the computer would literally brew coffee while he was doing his computer stuff and playing PC games in the 2000s. You can probably dig around the internet and find it pretty easily. Let me just make sure that that hasn't changed sometime in the last couple of years. Caffeine Machine. Yeah, there's a Las Vegas restaurant called Caffeine Machine now. Let's do Caffeine Machine computer. This, okay. Except it's a really old, is it zornsoftware.co.uk/caffeine? No, that's caffeine. That's the program that keeps your computer from going to sleep. The Caffeine Machine, why won't it let me view the pictures directly? The viral picture is, foodbeast.com. Yeah. Can I full screen this? It's an old picture. Ah, super bright. Oh, it's a broken image. It's a broken image. They deep linked to it. That was bandwidth theft back in the day. Here's something on Facebook. Can I view just the image? ThinkGeek, the Caffeine Machine. Wants me to log into Facebook in order to view it. Never mind. There is, oh, it was on Pinterest as well, but I think that might require me to create an account. Caffeine machine computer. You can look at the machine for yourself here. Let's go. Let's see, foodbeast.com, m.facebook, Rochester Institute of Technology, etc. Let me see. Let me just see if I can full screen this from Pinterest.com. Make the most out of this. Sign up for an account. I just want to view the picture. Just want to view. Is there like a full screen button that I can use for this? No, I'm looking at it through Google Lens now. Back out. Why can't I just open link in new tab, new window, open image in new tab? There we go. All right. This is an old 400 by 300 picture from a 2000s digital camera. But this is the caffeine machine, the viral sensation of the early 2000s. A couple of key lock, those like RAID arrays or something, some kind of, or SCSI drives or whatever the heck they were. Caffeine machine had custom lighting, but those are like cathodes. Those aren't like the LED strips of today. Custom lighting, water cooling loop type stuff was made for the coffee machine down here, and there were actually hot plates up top as well as the exhaust fans to keep some coffee warm on top. You can see his tube monitor. You can see his tube monitor and his looks like an IBM era, looks like an old IBM keyboard there. Maybe that's the one that everybody likes in terms of mechanical keyboards. I think he had it on wheels too. But the caffeine machine, yeah, vintage coffee maker stuff right on the front, operated like a coffee maker and could get filled, and was basically kind of this guy's take on water cooling at the time. Don't know if anyone's ever built something since that's like this, but this is one of those viral things that just goes around and goes around and goes around these days. Let's get back to Sega Master Tim's pictures here, and let's take a look at some of these other cool setups here. Veterinarian, Make sure they have their name on their degree on the wall blurred out. For a battle station. This looks kind of like the sort of setup that I would have had in college, except it would be a bed instead of a couch. Nice purple setup going here, some degrees on the wall, obviously a veterinarian, little air purifier thing here, big TV over here. So what I'm interested in is, I wonder if the TV takes inputs from wherever the computer is. It's dual screen here, but let's say you just wanted to, could you just spin around and, you know, watch this and stuff? Nintendo Switch, etc. I mean, the only real difference besides the size between these displays and this display would be draw time. So if you're playing a game that's not as fast and stuff like that, maybe playing on a TV even in game mode wouldn't be so important. I don't know. See what else we have here. 524. Whoa. Battle station. Another battle station from this guy. Picture of the Macintosh. Smiley face here. Is this a screensaver? A screensaver in 2022? What is this? It looks like it's obviously in like a flippy clock. The old flippy clocks from like the 70s and 80s before digital displays really took off, when little cards would flip every so often to move the digits and stuff along those lines. Screensaver, or is this just the kind of like something for the photo? I mean, who even uses those anymore? Yeah, rest in peace, screensavers. I miss screensavers. Actually, I used to collect them. I used to have 3D Flying Saver, where you could actually use the arrow keys to fly jets around. It was like an arcade flying game as your screensaver. Had that in college. So if I came back and my screensaver was running, you'd be showing like jets flying around and stuff in crude early 2000s graphics. All right, you got some memes and some other stuff here. Let's find some more setups. Get past the contests we keep looking at over and over again. Pro tip for anybody who's submitting stuff to contests: do not show your Nintendo Switch or Xbox dashboards with your email address. Because of that, we had to edit that stuff earlier, and now we had to edit it out, delay when this goes live and all that other cool stuff, and now we can move on to this. Maybe I should stick to just CRTs. The other one actually was showing the dude's email address, so nope. We can always blur that too. We can always use the blurring tool to blur that out. So that might be the better thing instead of editing it. But that does mean, though, that this is now going to be private after the stream, and it's going to hold everything up while the edits process. Well, that's one of the cool things about streaming on YouTube, is that you can do stuff like that. So, all right, Link, Mario, Mega Man, but why? You can see in the back there's a little bit of space because this is in the corner. Why not have us that the stuff that has exhaust fans can exhaust the air out the back, and it's not hitting a big piece of wood right behind your console, and with nowhere to go, it spreads out in this area and warms things up if it's really running hot. I don't know how long I don't know how long you would have to play in order for the console to start getting all toasty like that. I know PS1s could do it after hours of play, but something like maybe an Xbox or GameCube or something like that, I've wondered about that, though, especially if you're having a hard time with summer weather and stuff like we are right now. All right, let's find something that we're not going to have to stick the editor on later. Now, if it's got a Nintendo Switch or something like that, we don't want something that we have to blur. So here's something a little simpler, but the sad part is I recognize the flooring from Lowe's. Lowe's sells that gray wood flooring. I know of some landlords that bought some of that for some of their units around here because it's very, very tough, and I think it might even be waterproof. It's from PlayStation, right? Yeah. Sega Master Tim, by the way, you might want to doctor what you put on your things so that your fans don't go spamming people who accidentally show their email address on their like Xbox One dashboard or Nintendo Switch or whatever. Classic Taco, Betamax era. No, that's not the Betamax era. It's too smooth. Is this some kind of custom paint job on the X-Bone there? Here's an Atari VCS, the new pseudo whatever it is, the one that costs too much. I don't know. Here's that new Atari that Atari put together. I think it's like an Android console or something these days. Genesis, Model 1, Mega Drive, whatever. Master System, looks like a Saturn, a couple of blackout consoles there. See, here's the thing, a PS2 spitting its air into the back of this. Maybe I'm getting too concerned about this. We're talking about devices that only represent like 30 to 60 watts when in use, but that's still a light bulb. Light bulbs can heat up if you enclose them. Yeah, one of the side effects of generating a watt of electricity is heat. So the power usage from the wall and stuff relates to the kind of heat that your computer, your console, or your whatever is generating. I think even this TV, yeah, it's got a little bit of heat coming off the back, but not as much as the last one. It is lower wattage though. This is cool. See, the thing with these TV setups is console gaming. The thing is, retro stuff like the Super Nintendo here, this TV with its input lag is not going to be a accurate representation of what the analog devices in this era was good for. Hey, you got a PS1 with a fold-out screen. Kind of sad that a worn-out 20-year-old fold-out screen on a PS1 might actually be a faster drawing screen than the big TV like that. All right, let's see here. Let's load something else up. All right, let's go over here, see what other stuff. Battle State, this looks too much like an office other than a bunch of figurines. What do we have with this? Hey, a private message. Am I getting yelled at? I don't know, just Team YouTube. Just Team YouTube here. Team YouTube's giving me Team YouTube's giving me some better results than talking to partner support about an issue I had earlier. I don't know. I might send more information. I'll send them more information later. There's an issue with something I ran into where somebody is misbehaving on here, but we'll leave it at that. They're doing something they're not supposed to do, and I'm aware of it. So it's one of those things where I'm just letting them know so that nobody's like, you were aware of this, but you didn't report it. It's a common thing with corporations. Let's see here. Yeah, man. I think this guy is like 50 or something, and just Great example of how stupid ass stuff that happens with middle age. Just all you didn't do anything to earn that except have a few too many birthdays. I don't know. Just looking at this picture one more time to see this here. This is stupid. Oh, it's a Hotmail address. Oh, that might just be a blah spam box or something. Who uses Hotmail as a major form of email in 2022? Oh, man. All right, we're going to skip all of that. We're going to move on to some other setups here. What do we have for live time? 105. Let's continue at least the hour 30 mark. I'm going to sleep as late as 6 in the morning these days. CRTs versus Ghostbusters and TMNT. Even a little bit of Wii Sports in the mix. That looks cool. And arcade 1-up, man. Definitely, if you get an arcade 1-up machine, get the riser so you're not like playing arcade stuff on your knees unless it's for your kids or something. Browser mode. There we go. Some proper analog televisions for period appropriate consoles, including Street Fighter 2 there. Then there's the Wii going to this thing. I'm wondering about that though. When we get to the point where, well, the Wii could be kind of retro at this point, but I'm really wondering about, are we going to run into problems with OLED? Because what if Wii games were made for the input lag of 2000s TVs or something? What if it's like a Wii game or an Xbox 360 game or something that's made for the input lag of a TV from that time period? That, input lag for that, you know, related to input lag from a time, whatever. But demo, etc., PlayStation 3, that's not bad. Put some games in with the consoles too. I can't make fun of this. This is something that I would do myself. I have a constant problem with the games I've played most recently being piled up somewhere near the console for every single system that I have. Sometimes on top of it, if it can do that. But well, Guitar Hero guitar there, some figurines. I don't like figurines though. It just seems like extra stuff you got to worry about knocking over or dusting or something like that. Wii Sports though, pretty nice looking TV. I just wonder what's going to happen to games from that era when we go to OLED. Are we going to have like the reverse of what we had with CRTs and stuff, where you won't be able to get the timing right because the display draw speed will be different? And this was up against this nice Ghostbusters memorabilia thing here showing Destiny 2, a little bit of Ninja Turtles stuff. That's obvious. That's gotta be an arcade 1-up. It is an arcade 1-up machine. I don't know about these arcade 1-up machines. I'd always buy the riser for these. If I want that Chuck E. Cheese experience, that means playing the game standing up. Oh. Arcade machines were made to be walked up to and played standing up. Red Ring era 360, good luck with that. NES, SNES, and their respective minis. PS2, always a fat PS2 though. The nostalgia seems to be so strong with fat PS2s that always seems to be the one that people have. All right, let's see here. Tonight's this is another tonight's game room that this guy picked up here. When you live in a place with a cathedral ceiling, you end up with a pyramid of games. How tall is that? How do you get to the, how easy is it to get to the top shelf? Because if that's a decent sized TV there, do you need a ladder to get up to the top shelf? Are the games you never play up there or something? It kind of looks like the Illuminati pyramid almost, but that's just because of the darn shape of the house. This is like, I only wish I had that many shelves and that many games on the shelves. Yeah. See, this is the kind of cool setup that I think would be an amazing backdrop for a casual gaming stream, or even a camcorder let's play stream. Put a camera in the spot where player 2 would be, or maybe here or something, like, yeah, let's play this, and point of view, you're looking over your friend's shoulder while they play Smash Brothers or something. You can't see what's on the screen though. The screen gets too small when you do that. Maybe 2 cam setup then. DJ Hero, this other stuff. Look at are those all GameStop labels from when GameStop didn't have the original art, and so there was something on the side? I remember seeing a lot of those back in the day. What else do we have here from this guy? Tonight's battle. Didn't we talk? I think we're back to the ones we talked. Oh, no. This isn't one that I talked about earlier. It's got an interesting piano theme to it, though. So, first thing, my first question was, does he ever play games on the projector? Do they ever play games on the projector? So Netflix on there, obviously. Or is it one of those things where film was made to be shot and projected while video was made to be shown on screens? Plus you have 3 screens going here. Little horseshoe, obviously a streaming setup and things like that. Studio monitors. Where's the subwoofer hiding for that computer? I don't know. This is the sort of thing where you set something up like this and it's supposed to be some kind of artistic expression and whatnot. Although it does kind of look like a hotel. I think some Holiday Inns have some kind of looks like that. Let's see here. Food pictures. Oklahoma. Da-da-da-da-da. We're about to cover the floor tiles with laminate. I should write in red marker on the tiles. The voices won't stop. Don't open the cupboard doors. God has forsaken us all. I'm showing off his house here. Just double up on this thing. All right, another set of game rooms from one of his contests. I say Vindalia has kind of been moving in a direction of more pink, less purple. This kind of looks like the room she streams out of. So, like, yeah, she was a console gamer with a CRT. What you got to watch out for is CRTs, though, is some of the new ones from the 2000s that had image processors similar to LCDs, so they can introduce input lag. Usually the HD CRTs could have that problem. CRT kind of belongs in the era of standard def, though. Here's an interesting setup, though. You just pick your screen. So full size here, and then you have a tube over there. So this is what I mean. You don't have to have a big PVR. You don't have to have a big PVR or anything, just a decent sized tube. Except the tube is in one of these stupid entertainment center things. And this gets me going on a 90s rant that we should stop the music for. So in the 90s, there were entertainment centers that had this enclosed shelf for a tube TV up to a certain size. Unfortunately, the net effect, and they had thicker wood back then. Fortunately, as we can tell from the trim along the floor, these are open shelves, but a heat generating tube TV in a setup like this with a solid back was just more wear and tear on your TV. My folks had an entertainment center that they got for very cheap because it was like an estate sale from someone that passed away. And they kept using that for years. I think they still have it. And they're trying to squeeze a 32-inch LCD into that thing. But yeah, thumbs down to 90s entertainment centers for slow roasting so many good CRTs. It's like, no, you don't treat electronics like that. The enemy of electronics is heat. Full stop. The enemy of electronics is heat. Any other pictures that we might want to talk about here? 525 at the Geek House. I think we are getting back to some ones that I've seen before that I talked about last time. Back to August 29th for the dates now. Xbox. See that browser. Donkey Kong Country on a decent sized tube. So this is kind of the problem I talked about in the last video, though, is that I set up a couch and everything to look at a little tube TV from across the room. But I can tell you, back in the day, I didn't do that. I would usually get yelled at for sitting too close to the TV because I always thought my reflexes were better when I was closer. So if I was casually playing like Nintendo 64 or Super Nintendo or NES or something, I would be across the room on my bed looking at the little 13-inch, the little, Daewoo from across the room. Same thing too when I was watching the Olympics and stuff, like Atlanta 96 and stuff. But anytime I got serious, I always got closer to the screen. And I always got into the zone, so to speak, where I was just zonked looking at that screen, making sure that my reflexes were always top notch and everything. So I wonder about setups like this. I mean, this is a nice little TV, but when it gets serious, how close does this person get? Hey, check out the Wii U shelf down there. I'm guessing it is from all the blue cases. Those PlayStation 2 games, though, so generic looking. Are those all GameStop ones because they were all secondhand? So here's some more legit looking ones. I often wonder if I should just get a color printer to reprint box art for any secondhand games I might get that have that issue. Let's see here. What other stuff is in here? Other than food pictures, memes. See, Tim does something similar to what I do. Yeah, a picture of himself at a LAN party back in the 90s or whenever that was. Let's see here. Yeah, another set from the 27th. This looks like a publicity picture for Nintendo or something. Or a publicity picture for this game over furniture here. Except for the Nintendo stuff on the screen. Doesn't this kind of look like something you would see in like an advertisement or something? Then there's this. Then there's this thing. CRTs at the center. Look at mosaic of Mario right there and everything. Is this a garage? Look at the plywood. Look at the plywood on this thing. I hope there are insulation issues or anything in the winter. Or is this like a tiny house or something? Of course, I would take something like a tiny house and, you know, load it up with video games and stuff like that. Tonight's battle station. Some more of those. Oh, the argument over chips versus fries versus crisps. Let's see. The toothbrush, the dinosaur toothbrush with ninja sauce meme. Let's see here. Comment from Commodore blog showing a bunch of Happy Meal toys from back when McDonald's had styrofoam stuff. Are we getting August 26th? Are we getting? I think we're getting closer to. Oh, okay. We're getting a bit closer to where I was at last time, if I remember right. Browser mode. So this is you know, it's got a tube and everything, little thing up there and stuff like that. It was what this one was up against that I was cracking up about. Game room. Like, no, really? I can't figure out what this is. It's like games, consoles. Super Mario Brothers 3 on an LCD. Some people won't like that. Little ottoman next to a little arcade one-up thingy here. No. Little arcade one-up size machine. Joe's Arcade. Is it running MAME or something? Alphacade, extend something like that. Itchy eyes. What the heck? But yeah, this generic sign up here that says game room. No, I couldn't figure it out from any of this other stuff. Thanks for pointing it out. Made for a nice little dad joke on Twitter. The kind of things I'm kind of known for these days if I show up in someone's responses. Now we're getting to something I recognize from a little earlier, but I showed this to Vindalia's folks. 3 words. PlayStation booty pillow. Everything here is based on PS1, sort of. Obviously, that's the color theme going on here. Except for the two-tone dual sense over here and next to the double screens. This is actually Discord running on something or whatever. Is that a Chromebook or something? But yeah, PlayStation booty pillow. Where do you find those nowadays? Kind of plushy on like plushy sites and stuff. All right. Are we getting? Yeah, kind of scrolling this. Now we got to see all this again. Yeah, we're back to the stuff that I was looking at last time. All right. The Darth Vader room, the multiple windows and stuff like that. All right. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Yeah, and then there's the Nintendo one with the Pokemon and everything in the bean bags. Yeah, were you talking about that? Yeah, I suppose we were. Well, that's nice. If I could find more places to get some more setups to react to, I absolutely would. But it's cool to see what people are doing with their stuff. It's just too bad that that bonehead with the address visible on their console dashboard is now the reason why this stream's going to go private until the blur processes. The blur might actually take like hours or days to process now, so this is going to stop our progression on other stuff because of that, which really leads to one very important rant with this kind of stuff. That was a new console that had that sensitive information that now is the reason why I disabled DVR mode on this thing, on the stream, and why the replay is going to go private. Why is it, and I ask this question about Windows 10 as well, why is it that in the 2020s, with YouTube as mature as it is, and social media and all the privacy concerns of social media being what they are, why is it that in this decade, the 2020s, we even have to worry about this stuff? Why is it that I can't film my computer starting up without Windows 10 putting my email address on the screen? And why is it that console dashboards show people's email addresses by default? Why would you even want that? It's nothing but trouble. You know? And it's the sad part is, and people wonder why they get spammed or have account issues with their accounts. There's people that live stream their dashboards with email addresses showing because they don't know what they're doing as streamers. Like, this isn't 2010. This isn't 2005. This isn't even in the early days of YouTube, there wasn't these best practices because there weren't these problems with people looking for ways to invade other people's privacy like that. It's 2022. Microsoft and other console developers, we are long past the time where sensitive information should have any prominence on any UI of any operating system of any device. Fix it. 5:34 at the Geek House. We are calling it a morning after this long work week and getting some sleep. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.